Hi folks, it's been a while since I've made a video. I'm sitting at a little campsite. It's in Tennessee. I forget the name of the town, and the campsite for that matter. Um, the camp, I could not make a reservation. It wouldn't let me do that. I could make a reservation starting 2 days from now, I think. But because you couldn't make it, all of these sites are reserved now. But today, tomorrow, and maybe the next day, it's first come, first serve. So even though they say they're reserved, they're not reserved for tonight. All of this, every site here has got reservations for the next couple of weeks, but not for tonight or the night before, or tomorrow. I'm starting to travel again. My daughter was in an accident, and this was going to be a long trip anyway, for me to go to Texas. And so I was there for almost 2 months. Because of the schedule, just different scheduling. Instead of being there for 2 weeks, I was there for almost 2 months, and then she got very seriously hurt, and so I stayed a little longer so I could be with her. We're trying to return to some sort of normal schedule. Maybe this is the first trip for me to go from Texas to back to Virginia. Hopefully everything will be all right. But a phone call and I will turn around and go back to Texas. Anyway, but I'm traveling and I'm camping in the back of my truck. I don't have any torches and I don't have my rolling mill. But other than that, I've got almost my entire silversmithing studio either in the seat of my truck or here in the back. And so I don't have a whole lot of room. Plus I'm taking an electric bicycle to my wife. She can get more use out of it than I can. And we bought it for me, but it just didn't work out. My needs. And she can ride it back and forth to where she teaches school. But in Houston, you don't want to get out on the roads. It's weird. Anyway, so that's the personal stuff. But I did a little show in Houston this past weekend, and I think I've got a couple new customers from it. I've got a couple of deliveries to make when I get back in Virginia, and something that looks like it's a developing kind of thing is teaching little workshops. I'm finding that there are a lot of people want to learn how to make, how to weld silver, how to solder silver, make jewelry, that sort of thing. And so I'm starting to do little workshops, and they're fun. You get to meet people, spend time with them, get to be friends. That's fun. The other thing I'm doing is I'm playing with bread. I've got here, it's very wet. It's been raining all day, but I've got my little electric skillet here, and that's a loaf of sourdough. I stopped at Walmart today and picked up. I didn't have anything I wanted to stick down into my sourdough starter, so I went in and picked up a plastic spoon from the deli area at Walmart. I bought a few other things, but I thought, I won't have to wash that spoon. I'll just stick it down there and stir it around in the starter and feed it some flour and some water, and it'll be good. That's when I opened that bread up, it smells pretty good. So I was going to cook it in my Dutch oven. I've got a 2-quart Dutch oven. Although I was reading in the book, I think it's rated at being an 8-inch. Dutch oven. I don't know, it's got a number 8 on it. That's a campfire Dutch oven. I was going to do that, but it wouldn't stop raining. And the fire pit over here, I'm at a public campground, and it's an electric site. No water, but it's got electricity. So I can watch a movie tonight. No internet connection. Zero. Nothing. But it's a pretty quiet site, at least until the reservation system kicks in. But it's okay. This is my second day of travel. I'm planning to go between Texas and Virginia in 3 days. I can do it in 2, but it gets painful. And the reason I do it in 2 sometimes is not because I want to get back and forth really quickly, just finding places to stay. I don't want to spend the money to, hotels are just, I don't need to add that to the budget. I can stay in campsites or roads. I've stayed several times. I've stayed in Walmarts, but I don't do Walmarts anymore. I don't like staying at Walmarts. I stay in the highway rest stops. I've never had anybody run me off yet. And I look for, especially for the ones where you got all these truckers back there. They don't bother the truckers as far as I can tell. And if it's the kind of place that's got a lot of truckers, then I just go off to the corner somewhere, lock up. Now I don't sit around and fix a cocktail or anything like that because I may have to leave. Whereas other campsites where I'm paid to stay, I'm going to relax in the evening. This is a nice site. But if I go back and forth in 3 days, it's 3 pretty easy driving days because it's 1,400 miles, roughly. And if I do it in 3 days, I can do it fairly in a fairly relaxed way, and it gives a little me time. Somebody pointed that out to me. I was talking about the travel back and forth. This was when I was traveling, like making a trip starting a trip about every 10 days, it seemed like. This, instead of being there or being in one place or the other, I'm in transit, and being in transit is a very relaxing place to be. I wish I could stare straight at the camera, but I don't know where the lens is at, so that's why I'm looking off to the side most of the time. Since I can't tell where I'm looking anyway, I'm just looking out my back door. Silversmithing, I'm picking up customers. I've got I don't know how many jobs I've got. Not a whole bunch, but I've got deliveries to make, and the custom pieces, that is. I call those jobs. I've got one I need to be working on right now, and no, two I need to be working on right now. One I need to deliver at the end of this trip, and then I'll have to start showing it at the end of the next trip. But had my daughter doing the show this past weekend with me, and she was referred to as a silversmith, which I really got a kick out of that. And she had a piece, a nice necklace and bracelet set that she had made. They were matching pieces, hammered sterling silver chain of different diameters. She used 1, 2, 3, 4. And she used 4 different diameters for each section. And then she had some 22 gauge chain she had made for the end of it, to give it a little bit of flexibility on the length. But she did a very nice job, and she got lots of compliments on that piece, on that set. And I think she enjoyed being referred to as a silversmith. So that was a good show. Even as a show it sucked. The organizer, yeah. I'm not going to mention the name of it, but I won't be doing that one again. But it was the first one where she was recognized as being a maker, and I think that thrilled us both. Anyway, that's just me catching up. I don't know how long this is, probably running long.